Good morning. Monday morning, we were supposed to be Zooming, but I forgot to send out the invite, so I apologize for that. I know a couple of you checked. That's okay. We'll go Wednesday and Friday again. I will send those out immediately after I'm done. But I'm just going to take a few minutes to go through some samples of your DBQ practice from Friday. I saw most of you put times down. Some were what I expected a little bit. Some were taking a little bit too long. So I think moving forward, we'll continue to practice. I think we can attempt all 5 documents. I know there's some teachers who are telling their students not even to do all 5. I think we can get away with that. As well as the context, and I don't know if the counter argument's really going to be there for us unless you have time. So this is sort of, I can't give a whole bunch of big general rules because the times are so different that it's going to depend on yourself. So it's just getting used to looking at the timer, being aware of the time, being aware of your surroundings, because again, we don't know what the question's really going to look like. So for today, I just sort of randomly pulled a couple samples of some submissions from Friday. I hid the people's names, but once you see yours, you can probably tell whose it is, or at least the person can tell. So just to review, what were the features of Italian Renaissance humanism, and what impacts did they have on European society, politics, ideas, and culture? So let me pull up a thesis here. And I'm sort of in the way. So to that question, Italian Renaissance humanism consisted mainly of the revival and investigation of classical works and literature, the placement of greater importance amongst the individual and the worthiness of their achievements, and the emphasis on education. The new ways of thinking infiltrated Italy and greatly influenced society through the creation of a well-rounded man, and its emphasis on classical works with influencing architecture. So very good. Definitely earns a point. I thought this one was pretty good. Document B, in terms of cap, is a piece of art presenting the magnificent Duomo built by Filippo Brunelleschi, despite experiencing severe limitations regarding modern technology, and goes to represent the growing trend of celebrating human accomplishments during the time period and proving the new Renaissance theme that man is capable of anything. So that is a very good example of sourcing of a document, the Duomo, which, if you recall, we did a full reading on that way back when, but that idea of man is the measure of all things was very good. Another sample here. Can I zoom this at all? Yes, I can. So an example of cap, document A expresses, this is dealing with Machiavelli's The Prince. Document A expresses Machiavelli's new take on the art of diplomacy. A ruler must be ruthless in order to protect his power and place his interests in rule and land before its inhabitants. Because the author is most likely trying to address the rulers of Florence at a time when this city-state was surrounded and almost captured by French armies, he is most likely trying to offer advice on how to survive and even prevail in turbulent times. That's good. The author might say this because he had recognized the danger of confronting Florence in the 15th century himself, and therefore elicited his cold-hearted tone he provided for the rulers to feel. That's like textbook stuff. So very, very good there. And again, I really the phrase is like most likely. Um, he might say this. You're qualifying. You're indicating to the reader that these aren't complete absolutes. That there is some measure of complexity to this. And this person described it pretty well. Oops. Another example doesn't need to be that long. Document D, because Petrarch is addressing a scholar from the age of antiquity. He is trying to express the love and delight he feels when he revisits their history, therefore symbolizing the humanist ideal of revisiting into the literature of the past. Okay, so again, that I think that cuts it. It's short. It's shorter. Could maybe go on a little bit more if you wanted to talk about the fall of Constantinople as this explosion of resources were there. But Petrarch being one of the first scholars of antiquity, and using that as this fascination of learning, and again that the humanist ideal of man being capable of all things. So those are just a couple examples that I thought were good. So you can take a look at these examples and compare them to your own. I'm going to go through those today and assign some scores based on that. So I think overall it was a pretty good practice. I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on it. We'll do that again Wednesday. And then Friday we will have another DBQ practice, sort of like what we did on Friday. We may be focusing on some other aspect. So that's the plan for the week. So I apologize for this morning. Just so you know, the people who are going to go on Wednesday will be Caitlin, Dawson, Camden, Gianna Inga, and Emily Seeger. So that your questions will go on Wednesday. I'll also probably send out some sort of review video tomorrow in this format, just to make sure that you're still plugging along with the rescue packet, plugging along with the art history packet. So if you ever think you don't have anything to do unless you got that 17-page packet done, you got something to do. So if there's questions, obviously shoot me an email. I'll be around, and I will send out the Zoom meeting in a more timely manner, and I'll do that very shortly today. So I apologize for that. Pretty good, nice job overall, I think, on the DBQs. Again, I may change my tune after I look at them, but on first glance, it seemed to go pretty well. So thank you all, and I will see you. You'll hear from me again tomorrow via this video, and we'll see each other on Wednesday at 9:30. Wednesday at 9:30. Thanks.